everybody, we're back with another episode about the garden, and we're putting everything up. It's done for the year. We took down all the tomatoes. Some of these are tomatoes as well. We're working on them. As you can see, the stakes are still good. The wire is still good. Even the ties are still good. You see it? We just untie it. No need for snips or nothing like that. Pull it apart, and there you go. It's good for next year. And even the saw staples are still good, as you can see in the bucket. They're a little rusted, but they're reusable. Everything's reusable. That's why I like using the wire, because a lot of people use string, but if you use wire, you can always tie string to it, or just weave your plant. If you catch it during the right time, weave your plant in it. And that's not one of the original stakes right there. It's the one that we had on the property when we got it. And right now I'm working on cutting the okra. As you can see, the okra stalks are huge. Pretty big. And there's a bunch of them. And I'm going to eventually cut them up. You can use a chainsaw or whatever, but I'm just using a rigid powered sawzall, so you don't get caught up in the fabric and you don't mess anything up. Just go along the plant, just like you cut down a tree. Place it where you want it, and later on you can just go in where you want it, cut it up to pieces, and throw in the compost pile. And later on I'm going to pull the fabric up, and that'll leave me plenty of space to pull the fabric up. And when I till it up with a tractor, it'll till all these roots up, and we'll just grab the stalks out and throw them in the compost pile as well. And those are our beans and our corn. It's all had it. I got taters out today, the last of the taters. And that's pretty much for the garden. The peppers are still going, but
they're smaller.
They're smaller, and we haven't got a really heavy frost. We got a couple light frosts, but they'll be done too. So we're just pulling everything up, and we'll show you as we go. She'll get the wire off, and I'll help her, and then we'll come back here and start cutting the okra stalks. That's some tall okra. And these seed pods we're going to save, the bigger ones. Some people let them dry out on the plant, but you can just grab them like that, let them dry. Because these things got thousands of seeds in them. Let them dry and we'll reuse them for next year. Okra was really good this year to us, so that's one of our plants that we want to do again. As you can see, look at the stalk on this thing. It's huge.
We got so much okra.
Yeah, and I did 2 seeds for each hole, so it's 2 stalks coming out of every one of them. You can see this one. This one's back practically a tree stump.
I had no idea they got that big.
It's about 4 inches in diameter, probably that one is. That is a massive. But everything's dying off. Over here, the fabric's reusable. The fabric's still good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's really tough. What year is it? About 3 or 4 years. We've got our bees. I'm feeding our bees out here. They don't have enough honey in all the frames, so I'm going ahead and add in. There's a yellow jackets on there on the front side, a big one.
Whatever that guy is.
They're going in there getting it, and it's better to feed them now because later on You can put the feeder in there, but I'd rather have them have the feed in there and take it as they need it out of the honeycomb, because they've already took it from here and stored it. So it's better for them to actually have stored instead of sugar water on the inside of it and they all drown and they can't get to it. It's not hot enough. These are my mushroom logs. I drilled holes in them and put those wooden pegs in them, and hopefully they're supposed to be shiitake mushrooms. These are obviously not. They're some kind of tree fungus. But we'll see. After the first year you don't get anything. So we didn't expect them to get anything, but maybe next year. Oh, that might be one, baby.
That's what I was thinking.
Did it come out of a hole?
I can't tell. It looks like it. But then, I don't think so. It's not as big as that one.
Nope, that's not one. Those are something else. Shiitakes grow like a bloom, not an open cup. But anyways, it looked like one.
Bummer.
But we'll see.
Then you got these. That's not what we're looking for either, though.
Nope. Whatever that thing is. That big old mushroom.
Oh my goodness.
Thing is huge.
Yeah, we didn't put that there. We didn't do nothing to this guy.
Uh-oh.
I wonder if it's squishy.
Bet you it is, babe. As you can see, they bush hogged the field. A little burn pile out there. No,
It's hard.
it's hard and furry.
Furry?
Furry. Maple tree. You feel the fur?
Oh wow.
This right here is pretty hairy.
It is. It's like velvet. Anybody home?
Okay, and that's just showing you my mushroom. We didn't expect anything out of this seed. I was gonna show you it. You check on it, see how it's doing.
Redeemed.
The bees did really good this year. I'm happy with the bees. You can just smell the honey in here. But I'm letting them store it and use it for winter. And this is just an easier way for them from all three hives to get to. Besides that yellow jacket, I don't know how I can. These yellow jackets are tough little guys. That's a newbie, look. Hey, buddy. See him? He's just a baby. You can tell the babies from the other ones because they're so fluffy.
Their color's not as defined either.
Yeah, their color is definitely not defined. There you go.
Uh-oh. Oh, there he goes. He got up.
Maybe it goes a good little sugar rush. Becky chickens. She got 3 this year. They're yellow buff Dominecker cross. That's the father.
This
The
big guy in
rooster.
front.
And the mothers are the Domineckers in the back. I seen it earlier. They have some eggs in here. Oh, they got an egg on the ground.
Oh.
And as you can see, 4 beautiful eggs. One didn't lay. What was that?
I don't know.
Lady! Probably lady. Yeah, there she goes.
Oh, just running by scared him.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. Look at that chicken. Got a worm over there.
Ooh. They're fixing to have a field day when we take this paper up.
Yeah, they are. Those are my bug cleaners. Grub, worms, insect. I don't let them out during the season, but after the season's done, you're not going to hurt anything. They're actually going to make it better. They'll scratch and dig up stuff. That's a pretty hen. Some game chickens. And Ruby's right there, waking up from her nap, pretty grumpy.
Ruby! Daddy said you're grumpy. Are you grumpy? There's a good piggy.
We got a hawk in the air. The crow usually helps keep off the predator animals. Grab that in, baby. Let's go over these peppers. Yep. Alright, anytime you use wire or anything, you're obviously going to use it for the next year. So, all this debris right here, especially tomatoes, all this debris you want it off your wire. So anything that you leave on your wire is going to go back to your plants your next year when you install the wire back. So what you want to do is get all the dead stuff with the tomatoes off the wire, because it will cause blight. It'll transfer back to the tomatoes and then cause blight. And you're like, why did I get a defective plant? It wasn't the plant. It was the stuff that you left on the wire. I mean, the small stuff don't matter, but try to get all the stalks off of your wire, because it will transfer back into the soil at the wrong time of the year. Right now, it's okay. It's going to go to the soil because it's not going to.
It'll compost down.
I'm going to prep it, and everything else is going to go back to normal. But if you don't have your wire clean, when your new plants in the springtime, you plant them, they'll be back in disease. So clean off your wire. If you use wire or any kind of like cages, like tomato cages, those round ones you can buy, clean it off. Or the triangle ones. Anytime you use wire, make sure your wire is clean after the previous year. Otherwise, it'll rain, these will rot more, and then it'll go down, hit next to the plant, and the plants will catch the blight or the disease that it had the year before. So you want to keep your tomatoes healthy as they can be, so get rid of the debris on the wire. I'm just going to go store it and save it for next year. Now you put it back in, baby. It's okay, Mama. It's okay, Mama.
Hush. They picking on you, baby. They picking on you. And down we go. That never gets old. Back to work.
I usually wrap the first one, so that's the hardest one to get off. Because I don't like to get caught by this wire or caught by the pieces that get cut. So I just wrap it around there and bend it. And that's the hardest part to get off. First piece. Pull it on up. Let that roll over that way. And what I usually do with the stakes, if you're not strong, you can use your body. Just hang on to it, push back and forth. Go to the other direction, hang on to it, push back and forth. You can go like that until you feel like you've got enough room inside the hole. Just grab it at the base, pull it up. And those are good till next year. See, they don't even have a spot of rust on them. Instead of using wooden stakes like these right here, and half the time you hit them down, they're gonna break. Look, they're already showing signs of rot. And they don't last nearly this long, but they're good to. I just use them for now because I have a bunch of them, just to prop the plant up. Because I don't use the wire on the pepper plants because they usually have a strong enough stalk and they usually don't get too tall like the tomatoes. And you can just stake them. I usually try to do it right after it rains. We do got a bald eagle around here somewhere. He usually flies around. Okay. And on the fabric I can show you real quick. Make sure it's clean and everything is off of it. What you do is just go to a piece where you started from. Go right to the staple. Pop it up. Some of these you won't be able to save because the ground or it hit a rock like this one. You might be able to save that one, but some of them you can't really save. Go along there and just pull them up. Simple as that. I usually overlap them, so this side's covering that side, and but this fabric is top notch.
It's amazing.
No weed pulling, no headache. I mean, there's a little bit of time setting it up, a little bit of time taking it down. But as you can see, how easy it comes up.
It's nothing compared to pulling all them weeds.
And then you can see where we put some potting soil in there, just to hold the moisture better. All right, and that's what we're gonna do. This is our garden cleanup. Eventually I'll show you the next step we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave the strawberries as is. They're perfectly fine. They come back every year, so it's pretty nice. What I'll do is just clean it off just like this. Any of the debris on it, try to toss to one side, get it on the other one. But as you can see, not much of holes in it. And just toss it to the side, and then come back in here, rake it up, put it in your buggy, put it in your wheelbarrow, take it to a different area. You do not want this stuff right here, old tomatoes and stuff, back in your soil as least as possible. So just try to get it all out of there. And thanks for watching. This is Ruby Homestead, and this is our winter cleanup for our 2020 garden.
Alright, we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Might be tomorrow, but we'll see.